broken halos that used to shine. You're welcome for that. Chris Stapleton, if you ever want to check that out, worth it. It's always worth a listen. But welcome back to Wednesday Reset, where I take a little bit of time on a Wednesday night to reset something. Reset something for us to consider, something for us to think about, something for us to, change our perspectives, our mindsets. Now, last week, I did not go live. I did not have a Wednesday reset. And part of the reason why, truth be told, I had a really crappy week. I mean, I had a really, really bad week. And, there's a lot of stuff going on in my life, a lot of things happening around me. We're trying to sell our house, not moving out of San Diego yet. I know my Fresno friends and family want us to move back, but not moving back yet. But we're moving, selling a house, super stressed. And last week just steamrolled me. It just wrecked me. And the weird thing is that a lot of you, most of you know, I was born and raised in the Fresno area, but I was actually born and raised in the foothills in the mountain community above Clovis, and so in the foothills there. And if you've been watching the news at all, what's crazy is that on both sides of my life and in my geographies, here in San Diego, we had this really bad fire that took off quick called the Valley Fire, and friends and family were having to scramble and evacuate and make adjustments to their lives, and all sorts of fun stuff going on here in San Diego. We always have fires down here, but up where I was born and raised, above Fresno and Clovis, if you haven't seen this, then you've been hiding under a rock, but there's been the Creek Fire. And just to give you some perspective, the fire that we've had here, the Valley Fire, burned almost 20,000 acres. And right now is I think 80% contained. I don't have I'm not completely up to date. So you can correct me in the comments, or you can give me an update if you want. But just for some perspective, where I grew up, friends and family, there's been over 220,000 acres that have burned, and I've never known anyone personally to lose a home, and now I have family members, friends, people that I've known and grown up with that have lost homes, lost a lot. Not only losing homes, but losing parts of who you are, parts of your history, parts of your geography, parts of your culture, parts of an entire landscape of where you're from, just burned. And it's not funny by any means, but and it's not connected in any way, I promise you. But I was in Fresno when the Creek Fire started, and then I was in San Diego when the Valley Fire started, completely unrelated, completely not connected at all. But I do remember I was up in Fresno for a wedding for my nephew I was doing, and I can remember, the day before and even the day of, all of these people just flooding down the hill, just lines and lines of cars, and obviously, pray and hope for the best, and hope that people are safe and all those kind of things. And then now it's just sort of over time, you hear more and more of the damage that's taken place. My poor parents, shout out to my parents, who I think quit smoking 30 something years ago, but now probably have had complete relapse in their lungs, having to live and breathe where they are. They were just outside of the pre-evacuation zone. They were fine, but when I was up there and even after, I know it was just incredibly terrible, incredibly awful just to even breathe. Even inside the house, you could barely breathe. So love and prayers going out to all of you who have facing that still, and facing what is really the rebuilding of your life. And as I was thinking about that, oftentimes, I joke about the Chris Stapleton song, Broken Halos, but, he said, we don't ask Jesus why, but I mean, we're entitled to ask God why. We do. Hard part is that he doesn't always give us answers. He doesn't always reveal to us why things happen, what happens. And so the challenging thing with that is God oftentimes is silent in our greatest moments of pain and despair. But he's not absent. Whether you believe in God or not, I have no agenda for you believing God. I just want to tell you that from where I stand, my experience, I've gone through some pretty incredibly painful and hard things in the last year, and I'm telling you that God doesn't always answer clearly and communicate clearly as to why, but he's always near. The Bible says that God is near to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. So wherever you're at in life, whatever you're going through, whatever obstacles you're facing right now in life, I want you to know and I want you to hear from me that God is with you, that God is always with you, and that he is more than willing to meet you where you're at and provide the comfort that you need. And sometimes those answers that we so long for come later and down the line when we're rebuilding. And some of you, through fire, through life, through circumstances, through COVID, whatever, you're rebuilding. I feel like I'm headed into a rebuilding stage, a career change and shift, all sorts of things happening, selling a home, moving again. And oftentimes you just go, why, God? Why can't things just stay the same? Why can't things just continue to roll and get better and better and better? And if you're old enough, like me, you're old man now. By the way, like, I don't know, like, I started growing this beard out. I grew up in the foothills and the mountains, and I never grew a beard before. This is a complete aside that is pointless and doesn't mean anything, but I started growing this beard, and my daughter hates it completely. And a few of you have even said, what is going on? I like to call this my down on his luck beard, because I'm not, not necessarily down on my luck, but like, this is the kind of beard that somebody who's down on their luck would grow. Like, it's not like a real beard. It doesn't grow fully, and it doesn't quite look like all those manly men I know who grow real beards with real facial hair. But this is my down on my luck beard, and so for now I think I'll keep it. Started growing it maybe in August in hopes that No Shave November I would actually have a full beard, but I don't think it's gonna come to pass. So you can tell me what's up. Hey, how's it going, Kylie? I just want to spend a little bit of time just even encouraging you tonight, wherever you're at, whatever you're going through, whatever's happening in your life. I'm going to remind you that God is there. It may not feel like it. It may not seem like it. It may not always, you may not know why. You may not know what's going on, but I want to encourage you that God's with you. And I was rereading in James, and a lot of you are familiar with the book of James and the Bible, and he talks about these trials, these various trials that happen, these things that happen to us, and what they do is they produce character in us, they produce perseverance in us, they produce these incredible God-like qualities. Not that we can be God, but we can be like God. And he says these things are meant to make you mature and complete, lacking nothing. And oftentimes God allows things to happen in our lives, and it's really up to us to view them as either an obstacle or an opportunity. When pain or tragedy or anything terrible happens in your life or to those around you in their lives, you really have one of two choices. You either respond like there's some people I've seen incredible, like with the Creek Fire friends and people I grew up with that are like, you know, basically like, let's go. We're gonna rebuild. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna prove to the world and to our state that we can, you know, we can build, we can grow again, we can be um, reborn, so to speak. And so you can have that posture of being like, you know what, I'm going to make it. Whatever I'm facing, whatever I'm going through right now, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it through. Um, I'm gonna rally in the midst, in the face of these obstacles and these problems and these challenges and trials. The other option and the other route you can go is you go, screw it. Life is too hard. Life is too much. Both of those are true. Life is hard. Life is sometimes too much. And you just check out. You either just check out emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. You just give up. You just give up. Um, you know, I'm even thinking right now, just even about September being, you know, National Suicide Awareness, and I love that we're bringing light and an awareness to such an important conversation. And you know, I've, you know, had my own issues, thoughts in those areas before. I counsel and coach people who have experienced that, or who have thought about that and have struggled with those thoughts, and so I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like really to just be on that verge of saying, screw it, all of it. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't need to fight anymore. The easiest thing to do is just to give up. But I'm telling you, there is so much more to your story. Your story's not over. Your life's not over. I don't care if your whole life and world was burned to the ground. There is so much more for you. God has more. The world has more. The world needs you. You have family that needs you. It's time to rebuild. It's time to build again. It's time to grow. It's time to be made new. And so I just want to encourage you in that. You know, I know that there's probably some of you, and maybe if you want to share this with somebody else that's struggling right now, and reach out for help. I know oftentimes what happens is when you struggle with that sort of thinking, that maybe you're in a depression, circumstances have created depression or created a sense of desperation in your life, and you don't know what to do, and you're kind of at your end because your life feels like it's over, feels like there's nothing worth living for anymore. I want to encourage you, there is, but I want to encourage you in those moments. Oftentimes what happens is not only are those thoughts, they're obviously negative, they're obviously destructive, but then what happens is we start to beat ourselves up for having those thoughts. Well, you're terrible for having those thoughts. You're selfish for having those thoughts, and so you start to beat yourself up when you're already. It's like you've heard of that expression. You don't kick a person while they're down. Well, you're down and you're kicking yourself. And you're trying to get up, and you're trying to restore, and you're trying to get back to your feet. You're trying to start over, and you're trying to do all these things, and you're just kicking yourself down over and over and over again every day. What I'm going to say is just reach out for help. I mean, you can message me. Gosh, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Just direct message me, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're watching this. Reach out to me on the website or whatever. I'd love to help you process through that, to remind you of what you really know, is that you matter. Your life matters, and that even though things feel terribly, terribly wrong, even though things feel desperate right now, that there's a God who loves you, who's with you, and there are people who will walk alongside you and help you rebuild, help you start again, help you find new life. I want to encourage you, stay strong. And when you're not able to stay strong, reach out for help to others. Because when we're not able to walk on our own, sometimes we need assistance. I've had that. I told you that I've gone through an incredibly painful last year of my life, and I'm telling you, I've got 3 friends that have stood next to me, by me, with me, for me, virtually every day. Virtually every day. And I want to be that for you. I want to be that for others. I want to help people. God wants to use you to help others. Man, I hear it all the time, not only in the pastors in the church and the Christian leaders that I coach and help and counsel, but I hear it in the people that I counsel, just the hurt that's happening right now in our world and everything that's going on. You need to know you're not alone, and God's not done with you yet. There's more to your story. There's another chapter. There's a beautiful ending, but you have to get up. You have to fight. You have to get to your knees and get to your feet and move forward. So, I love you. I hope this encourages you. I hope it challenges you to reset your perspective on God, on your situation, that whatever your situation is right now, it is an obstacle, but it can be an opportunity for growth. It can be an opportunity for new life to be birthed, even when things seem dead. Have a great week. Reach out to me, leave a comment. I would love to hear if this is being helpful. And we will check in next week.